Celine, are you there? I have some huge, huge news that I just have to tell you right now. Xavier and I got married! Can you believe it?
Wait, what? Cassidy, what are you talking about? What do you mean that you and Xavier are married now?
I knew that it would shock you. But now this means that I can finally have my dream life of being a housewife. I won't ever have to have a job or work, and I'll just get to hang out at home all day. It'll be so amazing.
But you can't really be serious about this, right? Cass, please tell me that this is some kind of prank that you're pulling on me?
What do you mean? You do remember just who I'm talking about, don't you? I'm talking about the same Xavier that you were married to, but then I stole him away from you and you've been all alone ever since, remember?
But I mean, I haven't heard from you at all since you did that to me. It's been 3 whole years since we last talked. And I had no idea that you and Xavier were still together at all, but I guess you two are married now? I really just didn't see this coming today at all, if I'm being honest.
Well, I just wanted to say that I really am sorry for what I did back then. But I remember when I did, you kept trying to bug us with all your fake threats about suing us for seeing each other while you and him were still married. Do you remember how mad you were? I mean, you were blowing up my phone so much that I finally went and got myself a new number. But now that 3 years have passed, so have the statute of limitations for you being able to sue us. So I figured it was safe to finally reach out to you again.
So basically, you were just hiding from me so that you wouldn't have to be punished for what you did? That's why you didn't talk to me for 3 whole years? All because it was still part of your plan to get away with stealing my husband from me?
Oh, come on. Don't be like that. When you put it like that, it makes me sound really bad. I mean, I think it's kind of clever on my part, to be honest. I planned it out, looked up the laws, and I was able to steal your husband right from under your nose and get away with it, too. I don't have to pay you a dime either. I basically pulled off the perfect heist.
And in the meantime, you ruined countless relationships, not just my marriage, but even our own relationship, Cass. But if you're reaching out to me to tell me this, I wonder if you've also told Jeremy, who you were dating, before you got with Xavier?
Jeremy? Oh, whoa, I totally forgot about him! Man, you have a really, really good memory, sis. Do you know that? I mean, he had completely fallen off the map for me, if I'm being perfectly honest.
You're kidding me. You and him were together for so long before you did what you did to us both.
Yeah, sure, but that's all in the past now, and I don't really have to dwell on all the men I've ever seen in my life. Especially a loser like him. Just why do you think I traded up to get your husband from you instead? I mean, I didn't even save his number when I got my new phone, so I certainly haven't told him about Javi and I's marriage.
How could you say that about such a nice man? I thought he was really lovely. If anyone is the loser, it's you for ditching such a nice man to steal your own sister's husband. I still don't get how you could do that to me and Jeremy. You really are just horrible. Do you know that? Why did you even bother reaching out to me after all this time?
Now it all comes out. I knew that you were still sore about this. Oh man, it really is funny watching you get so upset over a text. You're just mad because you are outsmarted by your little sister and abandoned by your husband. Admit it.
What is even the point of this conversation? What do you want? Did you just want to reach out to me to make me upset and insult me?
Of course not. I just wanted to let you know that Javi and I are still together. The real thing that I wanted to bring to you about is that he's working for a huge company right now and I don't have to do a thing. Just think about it. If you were still married to Javi, then you could be living my life. But you aren't. I remember when I was with Jeremy, he had just transferred out of his old job to some new one at a really lame place. They weren't even going to pay him that much, but he wanted it for the vacation time that he would get. I knew then that I could never be with a man who didn't have the same ambitions as me.
But you know that Jeremy's old job was really hard on him. I mean, you were always complaining about how late he worked. There were even times when he collapsed on the job because of how exhausted he was. Of course he would want something with more time off. And just what ambitions are you talking about? You literally just want to marry rich so you don't have to do any work.
You have no idea what it was like being with Jeremy. Besides, if I'm not going to be with a man who doesn't make a lot of money, then there's just no point in being with him at all. And just what is wrong with my ambitions? Everyone knows that a woman's place is in the house anyways. I just so happen to want to make sure that my house was a really nice one and that I would never have to worry about money again.
You really are just delusional. Do you know that?
Don't be mad at me just because I saw what I wanted and took it. I know the real reason you're upset is because you knew that Javi had this potential in him and I stole him from you. Ever since then, you've had to go out and look for another rich man. I was lucky since you went out and did all the hard work of finding him for me. And now I have a husband with a bright, bright future ahead of him, and I won't ever have to worry about a thing in my life again.
Is that really all you think a marriage is about? How much money your husband makes? I mean, is that the only reason that you and Xavier have been together this long?
I am not even going to begin to try and describe to you the level of strategy and planning that I'm operating on. My mind is like an enigma that you couldn't even begin to unravel. But it certainly does help that I'm the cute younger sister. You might have been okay as a housewife, but I certainly look better doing it.
You know, when I was with Xavier, anytime I asked him to help around the house or said anything that he saw as a complaint, he would always yell at me. He would get upset and told me that I was lucky to have him and that I should just shut up and go along with what he wanted.
Well, he never ever treats me like that. Probably because he sees me as his beautiful bride and not like the maid that you were to him. He even gives me plenty of spending money whenever I ask for it.
Oh, well, good for you then, Cass.
Oh, come on, don't be upset just because my life is so much better than yours. I know that your life really sucks right now, but I'm sure that it'll get better one day when you find the right person. But until then, just know that I'm loving my life with your ex-husband.
You really think that my life sucks right now? What is that supposed to mean?
Oh, please. You don't have to pretend like it isn't true for my sake. I mean, you had it all. You were living the housewife's dream, and then I took it from you. Then you had no home, no job, no nothing. I completely ruined your whole life. And it's only been 3 years. I'm sure that your life is still in complete shambles ever since I did what I did to you.
Well, you really shouldn't be making those kinds of assumptions because I'm actually in the best place that I've ever been. So I'm glad that you took Xavier from me because now I'm able to live how I want and I'm really enjoying life. Anyways, if you could not waste my time with stupid texts like this, I would really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, Celine, what is the matter with you? Why aren't you responding to me at all? I sent you a bunch of pictures from my wedding and you haven't said a single word to me.
Well, yeah, I asked you to stop talking to me, remember? So why would I respond to you if I had already told you that I didn't want to talk to you?
But you don't get it. I don't have anyone else that I can brag about this to. Everyone still remembers that I stole Javi from you, so nobody wanted to help us celebrate our wedding. Even when I tried showing photos to my friends, the messages were just left on not delivered, so I think a bunch of people have blocked me. Even our parents haven't said anything to me. You're the only person that I can talk to about this at all.
Right. Well, if everyone else has blocked you, maybe I should just go ahead and do the same thing then.
Wait, no, you can't do that. I mean, if I don't have you to talk to, then who am I supposed to brag about my amazing life to? Please, you can't do this. Even though it was small, it really was an amazing wedding. You have to be there so that I can send you messages about how great my life is. Don't you want to hear about just how amazing my wedding was?
What are you even talking about, Cassidy?
I'm talking about how now that Javi and I are married, we're going to move in together and he's already gotten this really huge, amazing condo, and I want to brag to people about it and they're blocking me.
And just why on earth do you think that I would want to subject myself to any of that coming from you? I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised about your wedding. I really didn't know that many people had blocked you over this.
Well, they all just make assumptions about my marriage, all because it's your ex-husband. That's why I told Javi that he had to make sure that our wedding was even better than the one that you two had. I thought that if it was this huge, even that a bunch of people would show up, but nobody did. But a bunch of Javi's family and friends showed up, so that was nice of them at least.
Wow, that would honestly really depress the hell out of me if I didn't have my loved ones at my wedding.
Well, I wasn't sad in the slightest. I mean, it just meant that there was more room and food for everyone else to enjoy themselves. Who cares if none of my family or friends were there?
Do you really feel that way? You don't have to pretend for me. I really don't care either way.
Of course I feel that way. It was a great wedding, and now I finally get to live my dream life of being a housewife. I don't have to work, and I can do fun stuff around the house all day, like sitting and pacing. Sometimes I even get to go out and do some shopping so that I can cook dinner. It really is the dream. Yeah, this is what I always wanted. It's a much more fulfilling life than you have, I bet.
Yeah, it sounds like you're only doing things that I've only dreamed of.
That's right. I'm sure that you're basically on the edge of being homeless every day. You wish that you had the luxuries that I do. But I suppose most people would probably kill to be in my shoes right now. I mean, you really must be living in some kind of pathetic little shack or something. Maybe you have a bunch of roommates and you all have to take turns using that one toilet. But I guess that's just how poor people with no money have to live their lives. Thank goodness that isn't me. I could never.
Can you please stop making so many baseless assumptions about my life? You seriously have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm sorry. You probably don't even have a real place. You probably just work at some factory and go sleep in the factory housing or something. Maybe you have to put in quarters in the showers because you don't even have your own bathroom at all. Oh man, that's so funny to think about. Imagine how horrible that must be. Oh man, that's so funny. I think I could cry.
What in the world makes you think any of what you're saying about me is true?
Well, it has to be. I mean, you're still not married, so there's no way your life is anything but that. You're just a sad, pathetic loser, and that's all you will ever be until you get married again. And until that day comes, you'll just be living in your sad little shack with all your sad little roommates from your sad little factory job. You're like some kind of adult Oliver Twist, but you're still in your 30s, and you're still not married. Oh man, I am seriously laughing so much that my stomach is hurting.
Seriously? What is the matter with you? Are you really laughing so hard at your own messed up delusions?
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure that one day someone is going to want to marry a divorced old hag like you. As if, right? One of these days you'll have to tell me all about your sad, pathetic little life.
Well, for starters, my sad, pathetic house costs $1 million, so...
Wait, what? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the condo where I live downtown. I'm sure that it might not compare to the kinds of McMansions that you see out in the suburbs, but I'm very, very happy with it. The location and size and everything is just about perfect for me. Not to mention it's right by the coast, so I get to wake up to sea breeze and an ocean view every morning.
But wait, your house costs $1 million? That doesn't make any sense at all. How can someone like you afford to live there? There's no way that some sad little assembly line job can get you a place like that. How can you afford to live right on the coast? That isn't fair.
I already told you that you had no idea what you were talking about in the slightest. But 3 years ago, when Xavier left me for you, I decided to go and start my own business. It took a lot of work and effort, but now I'm valued at millions of dollars.
Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense at all. How can that be? I had no idea that you went and started your own business. This can't be right. You're lying to me. I just know it.
Do you really think that I would lie to you about something like this?
Of course you are. There's no way that any of that is true at all. I refuse to believe that you've done so well for yourself. I mean, I stole your husband and he was supposed to be your ticket to the good life. There's no way that you made it so far all by yourself. You're not supposed to do that.
Why not? Because I was a housewife when I was married to Xavier? Well, while I was in the house all day, I was working hard to perfect my craft as a graphic designer. I posted my work on a bunch of places and managed to save up a fair bit for myself by the time that you and Xavier ran off together.
And now you've gone and made all that money just being a graphic designer?
Well, you remember how I was always into artsy things when I was little, right? Well, I had so much time around the house that I wanted to get back into art, and I really worked at my skill. Xavier would always get mad at me for doing it since he thought I could never make any real money from it, but I guess it shows what he knows.
So then what? You're some kind of professional, full-time artiste or something? And you make hundreds of thousands of dollars?
No, nothing like that. I did try and self-publish a couple of things at first, but it never really went anywhere. Although my work was good enough to catch the eyes of some people who invested into my company when I started it. And now it's a huge success.
So then you're really the head of your own illustration company?
I am, although I can't really say that I have all that many employees or anything. But we all work together on really big projects that bring in a lot for us. In fact, your ex-boyfriend Jeremy even works for me. I don't think we would have gotten as far as we did in our job without him, to be honest.
Wait a second, what? Are you kidding me? Does Jeremy really work for you?
That's right. I felt so bad for the way you treated him, but remember that he was also a really good artist. So when I started my company, I reached out to him and asked if he'd like to come and work for me. He said he'd love to since he was having such a hard time finding work after you left him. And ever since I hired him, he's been basically my best employee ever since.
But I had no idea that someone like Jeremy was any good at anything.
Well, he really is. I think he's actually making something like $100,000 a year or so now.
He's really making that much money. You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, he's always punctual and quick to turn in his work. All of our clients are fighting over him. He's a solid pillar of my company as by himself, so I make sure that he's well paid. And thanks to him, we've been attracting even more larger clients who are all hoping to have the Jeremy touch to their project. I think we even recently took a contract from the company that Xavier works for.
Oh, wait a second. Are you serious? You're really working with Javi's company right now? But they're huge. They could work with anyone they wanted to.
That's right. But I guess the CEO really liked our work, and so he signed us on for a huge ad campaign.
I don't believe it. I really just don't know what to say at all. You started your own company and now you're doing so well. Not only that, but you hired my ex-boyfriend who was making $100,000 a year. That's even more than he was making at his old job.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Darn, now that I think about it, I really should have gone to your wedding after all. You said that a bunch of Xavier's coworkers were there, right? Was the CEO?
Yes, he was actually. Javi is a really good employee and he wanted to make a good impression, so he invited the CEO of his company.
Well, shoot, I should have gone to formally meet him. We've been chatting over email for some time now. But I guess then I would have been the only person on your side of the wedding who would have shown up, right? That would probably be pretty awkward.
Sis, I can't be with Javi anymore. You can have him back.
What are you talking about? Why would I ever take Xavier back? Why would you even think that I want him back?
Fine, whatever. Don't take him back. I don't care. I just need to get with Jeremy. He makes way more money than Javi does.
Well, I really don't think that Jeremy wants anything to do with you at all.
What are you talking about? You don't think he'll take me back? He's still totally obsessed with me, isn't he?
I really don't think so. In fact, I'm pretty sure he's already engaged to be married, in fact.
Hold on, what? You have to be kidding me. I already told Javi that I wanted a divorce. We already signed the paperwork for it.
Wait, what? You've already split up with Xavier? Are you crazy or something?
It's true. I really thought that Jeremy would still be all lonely and depressed without me. When you told me that he was such a successful artist, I thought it was because he was so depressed. I mean, that's why artists are good, right? I figured he must have still been upset over losing me, and that's why his art was so good, so I was sure he would take me back.
Oh, well, that's stupid of you. I'm pretty sure he's doing so well because I gave him a second chance at life and he's engaged. His art is coming from a good place, if you ask me.
But what am I supposed to do? I already packed up my bags and I'm living in a hotel now. I was going to reach out to Jeremy and tell him that I'm ready for him to take me back whenever. I don't have enough money to stay here forever.
Dang, well, those all sound like you problems. In fact, I never want you to come to me with any of your problems or bragging again. I'm going to do what I should have done a long time ago and block you.
No, wait, you can't do this to me. Please don't leave me. You're all I have left.
I heard through the grapevine that after Cassidy left him, Xavier's performance plummeted, and soon he was sent to work in the boiler room of his company, far away from any chance at promotion. As for Cassidy, she had to quickly sell a bunch of her stuff and move into a new place. I hear that she's sharing a one-bedroom apartment with 5 other people, and they all have to share a single toilet. As for Jeremy, he continues to be my star artist and even invited me to his wedding, which I wait to attend. As for myself, business is going along as usual. I do always feel bad that Cassidy and I could never patch things up, but I just couldn't stand her interfering in my life anymore.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.